Bill, can you eliminate that little okay from your machine, or do you have,
I'm headed over.
you have to go over to the other one? And the only reason for doing that is to see the little
Oh, I see.
picture at the top.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the September 16th Roads and Right of Ways Committee. This meeting is in hybrid format. Will be available to view the recording on the town's YouTube channel. Because we are doing a hybrid format, a roll call for attendance will be done as well on all votes. The Zoom participants are going to be asked to identify themselves. The name is going to be noted on the screen. And we will allow public comment throughout the meeting after the board has had a chance to weigh in on its, whatever the topic is. So that being said, do a roll call. Ellen Reinhardt,
Here.
Lee Saperstein,
Here.
Phil Smith,
Here.
Nelson Eldridge.
Yeah.
And Bill Greeter. Should also be noted, we have the town's real estate specialist on, Tracy McDonald, and she is via Zoom. Tracy's got a bunch of things to do, prepping for the town meeting, so with everyone's approval, we'll go, we'll change the agenda and have her go first.
Perfect.
Agreed. Lee Saperstein agrees.
Yeah.
So Tracy, go ahead. Thank you for taking the time out.
Sure, no problem. I don't have much to report. I am working on some very large projects with the town for the Lovers Lane, Oakwar, Monahanset roads, and I'm working on doing easement takings for that. That's going to be quite a big undertaking. And there's several other projects going on, sewer projects, a couple bike paths, and I also need to do easements for those. And so town council and I are focusing on those tasks throughout the fall, and in a hope that we can accomplish them all by the end of the year. And so we won't be doing much of anything else in terms of like yard sales, conveyances, and, you know, road takings related to yard sales. So we're kind of putting that on a little hold. So I have been working on Jefferson Avenue and doing that easement taking. And I'm just waiting on a plan, and then our plan, you know, our goal is to have that one be one of the ones that's done before the end of the year. The other thing is, you know, all those little access points on the bluff that we've talked about in the past. I did review them all. They are all taken per plan and or takings, but not sort of worked out with the abutters as to pedestrian easements and all of that stuff. So we'll continue to work on that, but they're protected, as well as, like, you know, lots of other access points where we've done the taking plans. We just haven't followed through with some of the other steps. And I think that was it. I know we've talked about Mill Hill. I think that's all fine for the moment, because the land bank is going to be working on that, you know, design through the Mill Hill Park. And I don't know if anybody else has anything else from the past that they still have questions on.
Yeah, I have a quick question. You mentioned Jefferson Street. Is the town going to take it to the water?
Exactly, Alan. We are,
Must
so
be-
it's taken to the edge of the pavement.
Right.
And the electric company has the easement for the cable. And so there were already sort of similar plans that could be worked off of. and to an easement taking from the pavement to the water.
So that would be a public way then all the way to the water, correct?
Exactly. That's the idea of it. Yes.
And the fee that the electric company pays for those cables that come under, does that money go to the town or the property owners?
I'm not sure where that goes. I don't know.
Just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. I just was showed their plan that was attached to their easement.
Right.
And said, you know, this looks very similar to what we're looking for. It had everything on there.
So,
Lee has a question.
yeah, Lee Saperstein's a little naive. Is this the Jefferson that goes alongside the gallery?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that it was a public way within the boundaries of the way all the way to the water.
It is up to the pavement. So the
Right.
roadway itself, Jefferson Ave, is laid out as a county way up to the pavement. But we're gonna do an easement taking, because the properties on either side are land court, and do an easement taking from that and edge of the pavement to the water.
Oh, because there's land court they own to the middle of the way?
Exactly.
Got it. Now, if I may, Tracy, Lee Saperstein has a comment on Lover's Lane. I
Sure.
believe at some time way in the past, this committee, Roads and Right of Way, wrote a memo to town management saying that was one of the ways that we supported for taking. And for nothing more than part of your background report, you might show that there was unanimous support from this committee.
I will. We're very excited about it. You know, it's moving right along.
That's great.
All right, anybody else have any other questions for Tracy, or comments, or concerns? No?
Well, Tracy and I will talk separately about Newtown Cemetery.
Yeah.
All right, Tracy, thanks for jumping in here, and you can get back to prepping for town meeting. See you.
All right.
See you tomorrow night.
All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for indulging that, folks. Let's go back to the regular agenda, and first order of business will be reorg, which is Lee has served yeoman's duty and is passing along the quill of the secretary, and
Here's what I found.
so I hate it when my watch talks to me. So anyhow, we need to fill that position. Unfortunately, we don't have a full board to talk about that. So I don't know what the pleasure of the board is. Officially, this meeting, we're running artificial intelligence to get a summary of the meeting, and we'll see what that looks like. I've done a test run using a different Zoom meeting with a different organization. The summary was pretty accurate. There'll be some quirks or kinks trying to use in a format with everybody in the same room as opposed to logged in as far as identifying speakers. So for today, any motions or thoughts, we just will articulate who is saying them, and so at least that'll show up in this summary. And then I'll check with, in this particular case, the summary is going to go into the cloud. So I'll have to check with Maureen Coleman at the town to see how that gets extracted and would be made available to whoever volunteers to do the secretarial position. It may very well be that it will be articulate enough that by identifying with a header and a tail on it, that it will be able to be adaptable for official minutes. As it currently stands, the transcript itself, in talking with Erica, will not suffice, so it'll have to be massaged in order to do so. So, what is folks' thoughts on, you deal with it today? Do you wanna wait till it's a full board or what? Alan Reinhardt.
Yeah, I just want to recognize Lee for the quality of the minutes that
Thank
he's
you, Alan.
taken over the years. I mean, I have, I go back a long way with this committee. And it really is, those minutes are what hold it together. So I just want to acknowledge Lee for that over the years. I think that your plan is a good one. We'll see what with artificial intelligence, maybe they can, you can get a printout that we can sort of, work with, and yeah, I'd be happy to participate in that, but I, I do understand how important the minutes are and how it is important to have a record of what we talk about at this committee and any decisions that we might make.
Just also, following up on your thanks to Lee, I drafted up and sent in to Erica the report from this committee for the town report that's in the works, and Lee's service was noted in that.
Thank you, Bill.
Any comments, Phil?
Nope.
Are you, you wanna hold off, or what are your thoughts on filling the position?
Well,
Well, we're doing something in the Harbor Plan Committee, where essentially what we've done is, because Peter Brace is just, we were meeting, for the last year, every other week. And Peter Brace was just overwhelmed with that. And so what we've done is we've each agreed to take that off his back, and each member of the committee will do one week a minute. And what we have is, it's all recorded, so Peter just sent us the recordings, and we just have to put them down on paper. And we decide which weeks has, who has what. I think it's a tough job to get somebody to raise their hand, because it's a lot of work.
I mean, personally, I'll interject but I'm willing to continue as chair. I'm not willing to take on added responsibility, so if the group method is the way it's going forward, if that's what folks agree to do, fine and dandy, but I won't be participating in that process.
Erica may have a comment as to, well, every committee has to have a secretary.
I did check with her, and that's why I'm pursuing this, because
Right.
I received chapter and verse on what has to be done.
Right.
And so a little problematic for me, because when I look back at all of the current town committees, you don't see a lot of minutes out there. And so while this is very important for this committee to provide that, I also asked about the possibility of the paid minute taker that's on the town payroll now, and that person is already overwhelmed, and that's not a possibility. So.
just keeping up with the select board is a challenge.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, as I said before, Bill, I think that the minutes are
Identify
really,
yourself, Alan, so
I'm sorry.
just identify yourself for the.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alan Reinhardt, longtime member of the Roads and Right of Way Committee. I think that, as I said before, I think given the technology and the advancement of the technology, we ought to be able to do this. My first secretary job was with the Charter Commission back in the early 90s. And those minutes, because we were dealing with writing charters for the county, or for first the town and then the town and the county, they had to be accurate, they had to be, so I really came to understand how important the detail in the minutes is. And again, that's why I think Lee has done such an incredible job over the years as far as this committee is concerned. And I would agree with you. I also read the minutes from other, or, other committees that are ongoing, and I'm saying, this is what they did, that sort of thing. So
Okay,
anyway, I'm sure that we can do something to, to fill the gap.
any comments, Frankie?
Nelson Eldridge, yes, I think that the recorded ones are gonna be more accurate than some people trying to take them. They're not all like Lee was.
Yeah. Thank you, Stuckey. Bill, Lee Saperstein with a comment. If the new version of transcription, so-called artificial intelligence, will convert the way we speak jumbly mumbly, chaotically into something resembling prose, sentence structure, paragraph structure, and so forth, we might be able to follow Phil's suggestion that at every meeting, somebody grab hold of this, clean it up, and make them into minutes.
What I propose to do is when this is, at the end of this meeting, I'll be checking with Maureen, finding out how to retrieve them. I'll get those and look at them. I'll bicycle them out to everybody so you can see what the raw report was. My experience with the one time that I did it for the other organization, surprisingly, if somebody spoke up and articulated enough, it even captured like the Madigan. If somebody sort of like talked a little low, it came out and the spelling was incorrect. So there was minor tweaks for stuff like that. But anyway, I'll send it around and then we can see if we can work with that and come up with a way to go forward.
Bill.
Bill Smith.
Bill Smith. I think that minutes may not have to be as detailed as maybe Lee has done, where in other words, you record you briefly record whatever discussion was around a motion, you document the motion and the vote for it, but you don't necessarily have to summarize everybody's,
Well, that's what
opinions
this-
on everything.
You're right, this, the AI process is a summary as opposed to every single thing. So, I think it'd be good. Sooner they can get this to get it out, so while it's fresh in your memory. And
Well, we're
just
so
for the-
pleased that Ed has agreed to accept this job, so.
I had the same thought.
You're late.
You didn't, you didn't,
You're
you
late to a
weren't,
meeting, you usually get appointed.
So for the record,
Reluctant to open the door.
for the record, Ed Gillum has joined us 4:22 p.m. Thank you, Ed, for.
Sorry to be late, I
Yeah.
gave you a heads up, but it didn't
Yeah.
manage to make.
So we just talked about a process we're going to try to see if we can use AI to capture.
There's other
Summary.
offices here using it, right?
Pardon?
Are there other offices here using it now? They are.
Questionable, but I've done a test run and we'll see how this comes out after today and we can go forward from there.
Perfect.
And so, by consensus, we will hold off filling the secretary's position, or attempting to fill it until we get the results of today's test. Everyone in agree, anyone disagree with that? Be easier to say, okay. Unanimous consent. We had an update from Tracy McDonald, and basically she's moving ahead when the Jefferson Ave process taking to the water. And she's working on a couple of others. She's revisited the Sconset Bluff stuff and has identified areas that have to be
License.
squared away and with that sort of stuff, so.
Bill, if I may, Lee Saperstein, Ed, she said all of the access points to the Sconset Bluff have been taken, but not all of them have been disposed appropriately. So there may be work to do, but it should flow relatively smoothly. In other words,
It's language.
identify the taking, convey the halves to the abutters and maintain the easement down the middle. But
Kinda like
they've
all
done,
of
they've done that with either 2 or 3 out of the 5. And Bill, if I may, the other thing that she related, which I think is quite significant, is the town is charging ahead with property easements along Lover's Lane, Monahanset, and so forth, so as to develop that taking and the appropriate side paths.
Did you mention anything about what you said about the county road?
Not yet, no, we'll get to that. I neglected that we jumped over it, but it's been a while now from our meeting that we did not have. We still have not approved the July 16th minutes. Did people remember reading those? And
Sure.
it was actually, it was Lee's last.
Yeah, I read them. In fact, I read them, I think it was fairly recently, within the last week or two, again. And, I'd make a motion to approve.
But did you do these?
I'll second it.
You did these, right? These are minutes, right?
Let me see.
It's not Lee's.
No.
No,
Yeah, we- someone
yeah,
else
right,
did.
these are the ones that Bill,
So-
that
Oh,
we,
yes, you're right.
So those are your minutes, right?
Yeah, so Lee, you don't have, you're not tagged with this
But I do approve.
attempt to do a Lee Junior, so.
Yeah.
So these are the, so one of,
yeah, those are the ones that you sent out
right,
a couple, or I don't know, whatever it was.
yeah, and then we ended up having a postpone.
Yes.
So, the motion to accept those by Alan Reinhardt, we have a second,
Nelson Eldridge second.
and thank you. So we will do a roll call. Alan Reinhardt,
Aye.
Lee Saperstein,
Aye.
Bill Smith,
Aye.
Nelson Eldridge,
Aye.
Ed Gillen,
Aye,
and Bill Brutus is aye, so thank you.
except for the next meeting, August 20th at 5, I always.
So I have been corresponding with, the folks out in Sconset. And I wasn't sure if she was gonna be joining us today, somebody,
Carol?
yeah, Carol.
Don't see it.
I don't see her on there, so I'll just give a brief update on that. So she has stepped up as a concerned citizen, and she's been working with some of the folks out there on the safety hazards on the bluff walk. She's been in correspondence with the DPW. She's met a couple of times with Drew from DPW. And actually, she met over a week ago, I guess it was, with Dale, the arborist from the town. So they're out looking at the roots and stuff that are in the walkway, the tripping hazards. And when I last spoke with her, pleasantly surprised to hear that they actually walked the whole path, not just that section. They're, if I understand it correctly, they're looking at a tree that Dale has decided needs to go. And working with the abutter on that process and whatever, so. Film at 11, we don't know how that's all gonna end up, but I think, you know, she's to be commended for not only bringing things to our attention, but following through and helping out
Exactly, yeah.
with a solution, so. So that's the update that I know of on the bluff.
Mhm.
The other thing was, since our last meeting, I received a message and some correspondence from a resident that brought to light the possibility that the Tom Nevers Road is a state road. And, they sent over some documentation, which I sent to Tracy to check out. And, the interesting thing was, not only does it show the Tom Nevers Estate Road, it shows the Pulpus Road from Island Lumber to the Fuller Road,
Fuller Mill.
Fuller, yeah, to there as state road.
Really?
And so I thought, well, this can't, it's got something weird, but also was a link to the state's map of roads that they own and control for the whole state. And when you zoom into Nantucket and you zoom down, all the roads look alike until you get to a certain parameters, and any roads that are state turn blue. And so naturally, Milestone Road turns blue, Tom Nevers Road turns blue, and Pulpus Road, to that point we just talked about, turns blue. So the documentation, she started checking with two fairgrounds, and they looked into it, there was some question, whatever, but Drew Patnott from DPW is following up on it. I don't know what the results of it all are, but he's in conversation with the state. But there definitely was a plan, documented plan, stamped and all of that stuff. So, of course, the DPW is very interested because of the bike path, Tom Nevers Road scenario. So, I'll ask for an update on that. Wait.
Lee Saperstein with 2 points. The first is your comment about Sconset Bluff. We are advisory to the select board, and it seems to me that we've had substantial discussion on it. We know a lot of the issues. And Bill, it might be a good idea to write to the select board with the things that we've discovered and the pieces of advice that we've come up with. And once we transmit that, to say that the committee has dealt with the issue, and unless there's anything new, we stand on this memorandum. My second item is I was chatting with Mike Burns offline somewhere, and he shared the news that Tom Nevers Road is a state road. And that this came about when they started to when they attempted to define the layout of the road. Because obviously the paved portion is not as broad as the layout. And when they started digging into it, up came the news that this is a state road. And of course, that has to do substantially with the need for defining ownership of what might be the side path. And whether or not easements are needed, or if the layout is as broad as they hope, that the state could commission a side path relatively soon. If not, it's going to take a while.
State funds up there. Probably
Just gotta identify yourself with a comment for it.
So let me finish this, Bill, by saying, perhaps if we want to deal with the state road issue, we have Mike zoom in on us.
My guess is, that discovery or process may have started because when I forwarded the stuff to Tracy, she brought Mike in the loop on this document that they didn't realize existed, so. If this all bears out, it's gonna be the result of citizen coming forward and saying, geez, I discovered this, which would be very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Big money it could be for the town, particularly when they have to repair the bridge on Pulpus Road, over the marsh there.
Ed?
I'm just gonna say the same thing, actually, with the coastal resiliency plan in front of Philadelphia Mill and the life saving there, and also that recent, accident with Steve Cohen, which shows the necessity for a side path on Tom Nevers Road. It's considerably a foggy area anyway, and it's greatly in need of one. It would be great to somehow or another accelerate that process, using perhaps state funds.
Yeah. So I hope to get a little more info so I can get back to the citizen that brought it forward and say, your efforts have been very fruitful and thank you for doing so, because at this point, they're just sort of waiting in limbo to hear. Snarky?
Nelson, the portion, where the double turn is the turn, and then there's one that goes out around it, what we refer to as Kennedy's Corner. Or from there into where it ends in Wisconsin, was accepted in October of 1951 as a Chapter 92 road, town and state. And I remember as a kid going up there when they were rebuilding it. And Mass Highway had engineers there, and Al Fuller was a main engineer. He had them moving bombs back and forth the width of a pencil. I know he helped me lay out a football field the next year, because we didn't have one at the high school.
So what, he was town?
Yeah, he was stationed here.
Oh, okay, I
He-
follow.
He did, Fairgrounds, Hummock Pond Road, Focus Road, from what we call Kennedy's Corner around into Wisconsin.
What is Kennedy's Corner again?
With the, you come out and the road goes this way, and there's another one that comes around with a couple of driveways. There's a cranberry bog there.
Near where Jose Reyes is.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Reyes Pond.
Yeah, right by
Yeah.
there.
The little,
All right, so that's the update on that. We don't have any public comment. Any business?
No, I suspect, Phil Smith. I suspect that Tom Nevers Road might have been turned over to the state if it had existed before because of the Navy base out there.
Yeah,
Good point.
yeah,
it's certainly,
that is why it was paved.
yeah,
So I'm sure the Navy wanted to deal with the state and not with the
Yeah.
town of Nantucket.
that also explains why it was one straight road.
Since CB's out to market.
Yeah. So it'll be an interesting development. In talking with Tracy, she was saying that, that before all this came to light, they've been working with the abutters and some were very enthusiastic, sort of like going to war when some were very enthusiastic about it, some not so, so. It definitely will add a wrinkle to the whole thing. Anything else that's not on the agenda?
Yes, Sankey Road, Wisconsin. Nelson Eldridge. We've got to get the DPW out there to cut the brush back to the property line. You walk on the edge of the tar and it hits me on the shoulder, the branches are so low. And with the footpath being as busy as it is, especially in the summer, you come up between Nosegay and Butterfly Lane. People are walking in the middle of the road because they can't get off onto the grass.
Lisa Aberstein, Snooky, you are saying Sankaty Road and not Baxter Road.
Yes,
Okay.
Sankey Road. Yeah. No, Baxter Road, they don't have a problem with.
So basically the vegetation, vegetation is encroaching on the road layout of
Yeah.
Sandy Road, which should be grass.
Yeah, it has to cut down so you can walk, and if you're driving up Sankey Road, you can see what's coming at you.
Well, you'll agree to what may be the quickest solution to this is, that we I'll make a note. That we, as a committee.
Right.
Open up a click and fix ticket. To the DPW,
Mhm.
so it goes on their workload. Number one, and then two, they can track it, and as can we. Because we'll get notified on it. Is there any particular addresses in there from such to such, or is it just the whole link?
It's just the whole lake between
So
those.
you wanna give me the cross section of the two crossroads?
Nosegay Lane. Which is right by the triangle they rebuilt last spring.
Yeah.
And Butterfly Lane, which is the first road that goes out to Baxter Road.
So the two end roads are Nosegay and Butterfly,
Yeah.
so it's Sankaty Road in between the two.
It's roughly
Okay,
with some of my crazy numbers.
okay, we hang on to your crazy numbers, and,
Well, I was down there with a tape measure this afternoon.
so, with the board's consent, I'll open a click and fix and we'll.
Good, yeah.
By consensus,
You need a motion for
yeah,
that?
why don't we do that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we,
Ryan makes a motion,
Nelson Eldridge second.
that will contact, Drew at the DPW to see about getting that road.
we don't have to do that, we just open a click and fix ticket.
Oh, I forgot they reactivated
Well,
that.
not only they're using it for everything. A light bulb out at town hall.
I know, I used it years ago and I'm still getting reminders from something from years.
So, motion is to, open a click and fix ticket for Sankaty Road brush cutting from Nosegay to Butterfly Lane. On the side of. Both sides, right?
No, just the one side.
Right. So
Yeah, the ocean side, east side.
the east side.
Yeah.
All right, so roll call, Alan Reinhardt,
Aye.
Lee Saperstein,
Aye.
Bill Smith,
Aye.
Nelson Eldridge,
I,
Ed Gillum,
Aye.
Bill Greeter, aye. Okay, thank you for bringing that to attention. So, Lee Saperstein.
Thank you, Bill. Lee Saperstein with two calendar comments. Tomorrow's annual town meeting, and the town is expecting a crowd and has set up sound systems in obviously the Walker Auditorium, the high school gym #2, and the intermediate school, the Cyrus Spears School as #3. Yours truly has been assigned to be moderator in #3. I'm not sure how much business we'll get. The system will, they'll fill the auditorium, then they'll go to the high school gym and then to Cyrus Spears. And as people check in, they will be given the electronic counter, good only for that room. So that after Article 1 passes, fails, or is set aside, and everybody leaves, you mayn't leave the room if you want to vote, or if you leave the room, you've got to go back there to vote. And so it's going to be interesting. The moderator should know each room will have microphones, so people who wish to comment do not have to rush to the auditorium and get on those, because that led to not chaos, but it led to a
Chaos.
lack of decorum in the gym last year. And so the hope is, and Chantal Blaise or Blois Murphy will be the moderator in that room, that she'll be able to say to people, I'm sorry, this microphone is live. If you wish to comment, please come forward. And the moderator will then be able to call on you. We'll see how, we'll see how
Following up
that
on
works.
Following up on that, we should publicly thank Charles Douglas from NCTV for coming down, making sure that we were all squared away, because they are up to their neck doing the technology stuff, and so he broke away to come down here, which is outside of their contract. So we want to thank Charles.
If you want to be in the main hall, be early. I don't know what early means. About 600 plus seats there. Does it mean 4:45, 4:30, 4:15? I don't know.
30 when school lets out. Bring your supper with you then.
And my other comment is entirely personal. Today is September 16th, and you may all say happy anniversary, Lee.
Happy anniversary.
We'll give kudos to your wife.
Thank you. Yeah, well, two responses to that. Yes, she stuck with me all those years. And it was a good colleague of ours 30 years ago who said, Donna and I would divorce, but she won't tell me the name of our attorney.
So, all right, any other, Phil?
Bill Smith, could we have included in the minutes a listing of those takings of the access points for the Sconset Bluff Walk? Because I've tried to get a hold of them and I'd like to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd like to know what they are.
What you're gonna do is get hold of the map and parcel book. And you go right down the drawings and you can pick.
Well, I don't want to do that. I want to have them in the minutes.
We'll have
That's
to,
where I looked them up.
I know, but I'd like to see them in our minutes.
Lee Saperstein and Alan Reinhardt, they are in the minutes, but they're many years ago.
Well, maybe we can refresh them in the minutes.
And perhaps the fastest way to do this is when Rick Atherton's here, because he was on the select board when they were taken.
So we're kicking it, we're not, okay, we're not doing it then. Or it
No,
sounds like we're
the
pushing it off.
Wisconsin Association just recently had published something, and they had, I think there were 6 names of the
they're on
6.
their sign.
Yeah, they're on their sign or whatever it was, so they've got to be.
Okay, so I say again, I would like them to be in our minutes.
I think the easy way, Phil, is since Tracy McDonald referred to it live in the meeting, that she be asked to just give us a little memo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I bicycled the list out, I'll look to see, because when they redid the sign and they noted the 6 locations.
Exactly.
I think I actually sent that out, but I'll look to see, and if so, we can,
Yeah, I know I've seen it somewhere recently, so.
yeah, because my concern, when I looked at the sign was, it just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you really couldn't tell where it was.
Yeah.
And when
So maybe, do I make a motion that we ask Tracy to give us a memo relating to the taking she referred to in this meeting?
May I suggest that the chair has heard you?
Okay, thank you.
Because I think we've already got the info, so.
Okay,
No, I think Phil's right.
Yeah.
Tracy referred to it. She can send us a memo.
Yeah, so, because what I found was when I followed up with the Bluff folks on the sign and said, they didn't put an address on there. They referred me to their website and it did have the addresses, so I think that's what I got, but I'll check and. let you know.
Tracy can give us a memo.
Because that list that I brought in had the lot numbers.
Right.
Between 13 and 15, there's one, between this and this, there's one.
Right.
And I took them all off the map and parcel.
Yeah. Well, there's, and Snooky knows this, each one of those ways, and they are defined by the abutters, but they're also the prolongation of named streets.
Yeah. And there's also some that are totally closed.
Ed,
Ed Gillum, I agree with Phil's suggestion to do it through Tracy, but the other thing would be interesting to know which ones are, because there are various stages being taken, it'd be nice to know the ones that are taken, these are taken, these are being worked on.
I think
But
that's where,
Bill
the-
Smith, she said that they were now all taken.
yes,
That was at the before you got here.
it was the conveyance part that has,
Oh, okay, I thought they were still working on taking.
no, takings are all.
So that,
Pardon me.
that's why I think we
Okay.
now have something that's in black and white that
Gotcha,
we can
sorry
have in our
about that.
minutes.
Story I got when I was a kid in Wisconsin is when Mr. Flagg subdivided that, all those easements were land courted. When he land courted the land, he also included
Oh, really?
the ways to the footpath.
That could be a very significant thing if those do show up on land court record.
And
It would make sense.
some
Yeah.
of the old timers said that when Mrs. Mitchell tried to close it, the judge from the land court referred back to the old documents. And he says, you close it again and you're going to jail.
Ah,
So he was nobody to mess with.
Hmm,
It would make sense that he would land for it.
Yeah.
it would be,
He's flattening
it
all
would
out
be
like
back
that.
then, yeah.
It would make sense, but then again, it would be a lot. There, you know,
Right.
there's other ways in that don't exist for, you know, for
Yeah.
people. taking it.
It's also a lot of them that go across
Right.
Baxter Road into the other side.
I-
Yeah,
Snooki, you can advise me, Lee Saperstein with a question for Snooki. I thought that in the original layout, each oceanside lot had a landside lot in case they had to migrate the house from one to the
I
other.
think that's what it was, but I'm not positive.
Okay, thank you.
That was my understanding, and you know, that was
Right.
my understanding as well. And then later people started selling off their
Exactly,
land side lots.
yeah.
Which brings us to the present situation we're in.
Present dilemma.
That's right.
All right, any other business in front of the board?
Thank you, Bill.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
By,
Alan Reinhardt.
do we have a second?
Second, Nelson Eldridge.
Motion. That, roll call, Alan Reinhardt,
Aye.
Lee Saperstein,
Aye.
Bill Smith,
I.
Nelson Eldridge,
I
Ed Gillen,
Aye.
Bill Breeder, aye. We just stop the recording.
think.